Hey, first grade. So today we're going to go ahead and talk about fact families. All right, so looking at this right here, all right, I have my two blocks here. I have two sets of numbers, and then I have my whole up here. So looking at this, I can go ahead and write two addition facts for this part whole math. And before I do get started with that, I want to read this. So I want to be able, it says, can you write two addition and two subtraction facts that use the number 6, 9, and 15? All right, and I'm actually going to use these counters to help me. All right, so looking at this, I can go ahead and use two addition facts for this part whole math right here. All right, I can write, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 plus my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, 6 equals my whole, which is 15. I can also write this equation. 6 plus 9 equals 15. I want you to think to yourself, how are these two addition equations alike? Yeah, they have the same numbers, 9, 6, and 15. Now let's ask ourselves, how are they different? How are these equations different? Yeah, we can see right here that our 9 and our 6 are right here for this one. And they are switched right here to be 6 and 9 now. So they switch. Our two add-ins here are switching. Now looking at these two equations, are we getting the same sum or is it a different sum when we add these two parts right here together? And if they're in different order, are we getting the same sum? Yeah, we are getting the same sum. We can also write here two subtraction problems also. One of those problems can be, 15, remember our whole, minus our 6. We got rid of these 6 right here, we could have 9. Or I could do 15 as my whole, minus 9, my 9 yellow, and I would be left with my 6 red. I want to think, how can you show the parts of the fact family? I want to think about this question as we do the activity that I'm going to show next. So how can we show the parts of the fact? All right, so looking at this problem, I want to think, what is the 15 in my part whole math? What is the 15 right here? What is my 15 representing? It's describing my whole. That is what my whole is. Because adding these two together, I would show my whole. All right, so we know that 15 is my whole. Now, I want to think, what is the one part that we do know of? So if I went like this, 1 second. What is the part we do know right now? We know that my part right here is my 6. We know that's one of my parts. So I'm taking my whole and I'm subtracting one of my parts. Again, I'm taking my whole and I'm subtracting one of my parts. So I'm going to figure out what is the part that is covered now. So if I took this, 9 is my part right now that was covered. So I know right here now that 9 equals 15 minus 6, which is the same as, oops, hold on, which is the same as 15 minus 6 equals 9. So now my other subtraction fact that we had here was 15 minus 9 equals 6. So I have my 15, which is my whole, my 9 that I know what that part is. And now if I did not have this 6 here, all right, I'd figure out what am I missing? So 15 minus 9, I figure out that my missing part is my 6. So we knew what my whole was, which was 15. We knew what one of my parts was, which is right here, the 9. So we're trying to figure out what our missing part other was, which was our 6. So let's think about, how was the subtraction problem the same as the one that we just saw? Take a second and think about that. Yeah, it has the same 3 numbers. It's just these 2 numbers are being switched around. 6 and the 9 are being switched around. And then also looking at this, our whole 15, it is being subtracted. It is having a different part being subtracted from it. So here, 9 is being subtracted instead of our 6. Alrighty. So let's look at this real quick. So let's look at all these facts. 9 plus 6 equals 15. Then I also have 6 plus 9 equals 15. And over here with what we just went over, 15 minus 6 equals 9, and 15 minus 9 equals 6. So all of these equations that we just saw right here, all of them, all of these right here, they're called fact families. So all of these equations use the same numbers and they are related. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this. So this is how I showed you what fact families were. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do something together, and then I'm going to have you do something on your own. All right, so here is our problem right here. And you can go ahead and just look at this, or you can pull out blocks to help you. However, or draw it, however it's going to help you. So we're going to go ahead and figure out some related facts that are fact families. All right. Here we have our whole, which is 14. Our yellow, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm actually going to write the numbers that help us. So we have 8 right here. Oops, sorry, 8. We have, how many blocks right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 right here. And then our whole is 14. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start out with our addition. So looking at this, I know my whole is 14. All right, and now I need to go ahead and figure out my parts. Well, we see them right here. We know what our parts are. Our parts are 8 and our part is 6. So 8 and 6. All right. And I'm actually going to count them to help me with it. All right, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 8 plus 6 equals 14, or 14 equals 8 plus 6. My next problem, I'm going to switch it around. All right, I'm going to switch my add-ins around. All right, I'm going to make it 14 equals, I'm going to use 6 now, my one part. 6 plus 8. It's the same thing. It's just my parts, my addends are being switched around. Now I'm going to go ahead with my subtraction problem. Now I'm going to put the lines for this one because we want to keep it the same. So blank equals blank minus blank. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to use something to cover up my first. I'm just going to cover up one part right here. I'm going to use it to cover up my one part. So I know right here that 14 is my whole. So I'm going to start out with 14. Now, a big thing is we want to make sure that we are looking at our equation correctly because we don't want to put our 14 right here because that would be 14 equals. And we don't want to do that yet. We want to start here at 14. So 14 minus, what's my part that we know of? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We know of my part 6. So 14 minus 6 equals, I know my numbers are 14, 6, and my other number is 8. So 8 equals 14 minus 6, which is the same as 14 minus 6 equals 8. We're keeping the same numbers. We're working with 3 of those numbers, 8, 6, and 14. So they're just going to be switched around. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch it around. Now I'm going to put this over my other one, and I'm going to write the same. I'm going to go ahead and write the problem. Oops. All right. My blank equals, blank minus blank. Trying to figure out my equation here. Alrighty, so I know I need to start out with my whole, my 14. Again, make sure you do not put it in the equal spot when you are subtracting. All right, it starts right here. Now you're going to see this a lot. They're going to try and trick you by making the equal sign go first. All right, you need to make sure you look at the equation to make sure you're doing it correctly or seeing it correctly. So 14 minus, all right, I have my 8. I can see my 8. 14 minus 8. I know my other number is 6. 14 minus 8 equals 6. So to check that, 14 minus 8 equals 6. Let's try it. So 14, I'm getting rid of 8. Ready? 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. 6 equals 14 minus 8. So again, 14 minus 8 equals 6. So here again, first grade, we are seeing fact families. And I keep covering it up, sorry. These are related facts. They're called fact families. They all have the three numbers, and they're all switched around in the problems. All right, in our addition, we can see that the 8 and 6 are flipped around. The whole stays the same that part stays the same in my subtraction problem. I'm sorry, my addition problem. Down here with my subtraction, the 14 is going to be the first number I subtract from because it's my biggest, it's my whole. All right, and I'm just switching around my two numbers, my 6 and my 8. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up another equation or another picture, and I want you to figure out the families and how they go by themselves, by yourself. 1 second. Alrighty, so you're going to go ahead and use this picture to figure out your addition problems and your subtraction problems. So go ahead and pause it. When you are finished with it and you're ready to check it, go ahead and press the play button. Alrighty, so when we're doing this, again, I want real quick, I want to go over that you need to see what it looks like, okay? You need to look at what the equation is asking you. All right, so this time I put blank plus blank equals blank. It's not blank equals blank plus blank. I switched it around, so you need to make sure that you pay attention to that. All right, so starting out, we want to look at my two parts. What are my two parts here? All right, we have my 7 and we have the 5. And my whole is 12. All right, I'm going to switch my parts, my addends, and now I'm going to make it 5 plus 7 equals 12. We're just switching them. They are related facts. They are fact families. They have the same 3 numbers. They just might not be in the same place all the time. All right, with my subtraction, I want to start with my whole. So I'm going to start with my whole here. 12, all right, if I came in and I put something over my group of 7, all right, I know that the one part that I have here is my 5. So 12 minus 5, I figure out equals my 7. If I switch it and do it this the other way, I would have 12 minus 7 now. Pull it away, I have 5 there now. So 7 plus 5 equals 12, and 5 right here. Let me actually. So 7 plus 5 equals 12, and 5 plus 7 equals 12. That's my addition equations. I'm switching my parts, my addends. I'm switching them around. Just switching them. When I'm moving down to these, again, I'm switching them. All right. I use this to help me because then I was able to figure out, okay, I'm going to start with 5. I'm going to take my whole and I'm going to subtract 5 from them. Then I have my 7. All right. Now I have my 7, subtract that, and now I only have 5 left. So first grade today, in this video, you learned how to see related facts, understand them, related facts and fact families, the same thing. So again, it is really, really, really important that when you're talking about fact families, you know that there's going to be 3 numbers. They're going to be switched around, but paying attention to the equation is really, really important. Great job today, guys.